So just a little while ago, I made for the first time some New York hot dogs. I grilled up actually some cheddar bratwurst. They were the only things that I had, but I still made them with New York style ingredients like a sauerkraut and the onion red sauce. It's real simple to make, but it was the first time I had New York style dogs. For a while I was wanting to make New York style dogs, and I finally got a chance to make some, and they were really good. And while I was making them, when I was preparing everything, I saw on, I think it's Hulu, I saw on Hulu that there's a new David Blaine show. It's called something like David Blaine's I Can't Believe I'm Doing This, Another Magic Show, David Blaine Defies All Odds, or something. There's something like that. I can't remember the show's name, but it's just a new David Blaine show. And in that show, he's doing like death-defying stunts and some really cool like stunts and such. And it reminded me of the time of when like televised magicians were popular. Specifically like the David Blaine era of like the late 90s and early 2000s, which had some like pretty wild stuff. Like he did the street magic stuff, most notably for going into the hood or more sketchy neighborhoods and doing magic and getting like the best reactions possible.
This card, right? Remember diamonds. Forget ace, just diamonds. Hold it parallel. What card do you have?
What?
What card is that?
Can I look at it?
Yeah, but name it. Name it. What is it?
That's how David Blaine would always get you. He would ask you to look at the card, show everyone the card, and then he would do something really crazy with it.
Cool, man. Hold it like this. Look. Lower, lower, lower. Watch. This one, same thing. Just remember hearts. Forget ace, just hearts.
Right.
Watch this switch. Ready? See, I switched it. Look, I'll do it again. See it switch back. Just switch twice. So
Switch the cards.
Get off my shoe, homie.
Sorry. At it, what would you bet on? Hearts or diamonds?
I bet you got no money.
All right, but pretend bet. Would you bet hearts here or hearts here? Or could I impress you if the heart was on top, diamond was on bottom?
The heart's on top because you had the heart.
Turn your hand over.
Nope.
Go ahead, turn your hand over.
See, he shows you exactly what he's going to do, and then he subverts expectations beyond recognition. It's the most insane thing.
But then after the 2000s, I mean, there were still a few magicians that were, there were still like a few magicians that were around, I believe. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but one that comes to mind that really blew up, that I remember specifically as being like a cultural icon, was Criss Angel. Now, Criss Angel was, I remember he did sort of like the same thing. He would do like street magic type stuff, but at some point he gained enough traction to get a show on A&E. Back then, A&E really was more so for a wide variety of shows, I would say. A&E was known for like Hollywood biographies and different things like that, but it started to dip its toes into the reality show game, because around that time in the 2000s, reality shows were like really big. This was before the days of where the show Duck Dynasty dominated that channel.
There's gonna be enough paint shed, okay, to actually paint a shed. Hey, that thing is touchy, boys.
The same way that ridiculousness now dominates MTV. But when Criss Angel came out, it was like the mid-2000s, and it was like this weird, like, competition between David Blaine and Criss Angel. You had the Criss Angel fans and the David Blaine fans. David Blaine fans would say Criss Angel's tricks are whack. They're fake. He fakes doing them. David Blaine actually does his stunts. And then Criss Angel fans would be like, fuck you, Criss Angel's cool. That was the only argument that the Criss Angel fans would have, and then somehow that would negate the arguments that Criss Angel would do fake stunts and David Blaine would actually do real stunts. But the thing is, David Blaine would have like these events. Well, this is how you know his stuff was real. He would have like events and do like televised events, and when he's gonna do like the next big thing that he does. Meanwhile, Criss Angel had a show every week. So it was like, you know, it's hard to be a David Blaine fan when he does like one event per year. Like, how am I supposed to keep up with that? Criss Angel has a show that airs every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on A&E. He's got like 4 seasons. This new season, he's got a new hairstyle. He's gonna levitate in the Luxor. On the pyramid, he's gonna levitate. They're gonna put hooks in his back and he's gonna fly around on a helicopter. I think that might have been real. That might have been real. Him putting hooks in his back and then flying in a helicopter listening to Korn.
Oh, they don't show them putting in the hooks, but I'm pretty sure they do show them putting in the hooks But we're gonna watch it and see if it's real. I mean, it looks real, but I don't know if we can't really get a good look on his at his back. I don't know if I'll be able to play this. See, he's listening to Korn. His favorite song is Alone I Break. It's okay. But we can't see his back. He's definitely being suspended by the helicopter, but we don't know if he's actually being suspended by his skin. And if he is, then that's pretty impressive. Like, that's a pretty cool stunt.
I live my life this way. When the mind, body, and spirit work as one.
See, what the hell is he talking about? This is what made him popular. He's just so weird. I mean, David Blaine's pretty weird, but I mean, he's got a little bit of hood credibility. The quality is so bad on this clip, but it might be real. It could be real. It seems like he picks any excuse to be shirtless, so him having hooks in his back to like prove the haters or whatever was probably just an excuse for him to be shirtless.
And I think there was also, like, before he did that stunt, he had the other stunt where he did like fish hooks, and then he was like suspended in air. I think that trick was real too, but nonetheless, it was, you have some of those real tricks, but then in the midst of that, you have the stunt where he gets run over by a steamroller. I remember when that episode debuted. He had the new hairstyle in that episode.
Well, he's got a steamroller on top of him. So Criss Angel would do a lot of stuff like this, especially in these later seasons. And I mean, if you're channel surfing and then you stop on A&E and you see this guy doing that, someone's doing that, you would probably watch for a little bit.
That was like death-defying to me. I remember when that episode aired, I waited for it. It was so bizarre. He got ran over by a steamroller. But at the same time, this was around the time where like tricksters and shows with like tricks were very common. There was the, I'm not going to be able to remember the name, but it reminds me of, I think it was on MTV or True TV, and it had Tracy Morgan as the host. I think Scare Tactics was like the same. It came on around the same time, and there was also stunts in Scare Tactics. I think it's called Scare Tactics, where there was like, this dude had like crabs coming out of his stomach.
Is it too late to get one more crab?
One more crab?
One more.
Sure.
Okay, good. Okay. You should tell him about the... Oh my God.
You're trying to... What is it called?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And it gave me like the same feeling of like Criss Angel's doing that and Scare Tactics is doing this, but at the time I never pieced together that it could be staged, so I just accepted it. Meanwhile, I saw where David Blaine like ripped his heart out on Ellen or something like that.
This is where David Blaine pulls out his heart. This is the most extreme, like, gimmicky thing that he's ever done. So David Blaine just pulled out his heart on live TV, and he might be dead. He's dead.
And that's when I started to think maybe some of the stuff is fake. And then I saw David Blaine just stand in a big cube of ice for like 3 days, and I thought, all right, well maybe that's real. There's no way you can fake that. But it started opening my eyes of like, well maybe the Criss Angel stuff is fake. Because I remember he did a tutorial on how to make a toothpick disappear. Like you tape a toothpick. Like you... I don't have any tape. Should I get some tape? I got tape. This is how I knew that Criss Angel may have been full of shit the whole time. He was teaching tricks like this. So if you get a toothpick and you get some Scotch tape, okay? This is all you're gonna need for this trick. And what you're gonna wanna do, instead of doing any fancy sleight of hand or, you know, anything with any skill, you're gonna put the Scotch tape on the back of the toothpick just like this. You're gonna put it on the back of your thumbnail, attached with the toothpick, right? Look at that, you can't even see. And I'm gonna make this toothpick disappear. You ready? Watch this. Look at that. I didn't swallow it. And then Look at that. I remember Chris Angel teaching that trick, and I thought, man, this guy is full of shit, man. This guy's a fraud. I thought he was so cool with that hair. Reminded me of Leon from Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
But there was always a big debate between who's better, David Blaine or Chris Angel. I prefer Harry Houdini, because I think he died by getting punched in the stomach. Or something like that. But speaking of magicians and such, what's also really cool is there was this one magician called the Amazing Randy who would expose fake magicians. He had there's a pretty cool documentary that's on Netflix, I think. It goes over like his career and him exposing fake magicians. Super funny. Like he would expose fake magicians like on live TV.
So there's Bob Barker. This is a very famous and Amazing Randy clip where he exposes this guy named Hydrick, and Amazing Randy's going to expose him for what he is, which is a fraud, or his fraudulent psychic abilities. He's got psychic abilities, and we're going to be able to see these psychic abilities on display. So there's a knife on the edge of a table, there's a pencil on the edge of a table, and with his psychic abilities, he moved the pencil. He's going to move the pages of the phone book with his mind. The price is wrong, bitch. Doesn't that look real?
Now what I have here is particles of a white plastic, which when given a good heavy puff of air, will, I think, rather conclusively show whether or not blowing is a method accomplished. Now it will not, perhaps, in some way different.
So this is going to prove if he's using air to turn the page. If he's using air, then those plastic things are going to move. But if he's using his psychic abilities, then he should be able to move the page with no interference. So here he goes. He's going to use his psychic abilities, and the plastic things are not going to move, but the page is going to move. He's going to turn the page. Turn the page, Hydra. Come on, turn the page. Dial it in, turn the page. Okay, so apparently the styrofoam and the lights are forming an electrical barrier that's preventing him from using his psychic abilities.
Well, it is the opinion of the judges that there is not enough static formed by the foam to be a problem. So, under the conditions agreed upon, it would seem that now you should at least try with psychic power to turn the page of the telephone directory, James.
Now it's time to use the psychic ability. Use your psychic ability. He's turning on his psychic power right now. It's not working. The psychic power got turned off.
It's not going to turn for you? No, it isn't.
This isn't a magician's trick. I can't just come up, bang, bang, and it's over.
He can't just come up, bang, bang, and it's over. Isn't that what he did the first time?
To build up my own self.
James has
what does James think?
$10,000 with this demonstration. So it seems. Now, you have heard what James's explanation is. Do you have any comment to make on that?
Bob, the comment very briefly is that I have gone through many hundreds of these tests with many hundreds of people who claim to have psychic powers. And quite frankly, it's more or less the same story every time.
They would be known for bending spoons or something, and then James Randi would come in with like an obvious thing that would stop the trick from happening, and then he would put it in front of them, and then the person would go, "My mental focus is not, I have used all of my energy for the day, and I cannot bend this spoon. I cannot flip this paper." And it's because James Randi exposed them. And that was really funny. He actually had $1 million for anyone that could do a trick that he couldn't prove. Kind of like Penn and Teller. That's another thing of like, Penn and Teller was pretty big in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, but Penn and Teller had some pretty cool magician stuff. To compare to like magicians today, magicians aren't really televised today. There's a few pretty cool magicians that are on like YouTube and TikTok, but they're very popular through TikTok and YouTube Shorts. They kind of dominate, really. And it makes sense because short form tricks, like a trick on the street, someone comes up to you, does a card trick, or what have you. So if you're browsing through shorts, it's like the magician's going to show like a routine and such, very short routine. They can dominate those shorts. There's a few of them, I don't know their names, but there's a few of them that do really, really cool like sleight of hands and card tricks and such. It reminds me of, I gotta look up his name. Hold on. Ricky J. Now this is like a sleight of hand master. This dude is like the definition of cool. A cool sleight of hand, not really magician with like a bouquet of flowers and a wand and pulling a bunny out of a top hat. He's more of a he's mastered the card deck.
This dude is like the coolest magician. These are real shuffles. Dexterity. Shot up 2 cards, it was the ace and the 2. Oh, but wait, it gets crazier. You see where this is going. So he has 1 suit. He just completed the whole suit by finding the cards randomly in the deck. Oh, but wait, it gets crazier. How can it get crazier? Check this out. The entire deck is in order.
Really, really cool. He's like the mobster of sleight of hand magicians. But yeah, I was watching the David Blaine show, and he's kissing snakes on the heads, lighting himself on fire, doing David Blaine stuff. And it's pretty interesting. I'd recommend it. It's pretty new, I think. But I was making some New York dogs while I saw it, and it reminded me of these magicians. But yeah, the New York dogs were pretty good. The onion sauce came out pretty good. It was nice and tangy, not too light, not too heavy on any of the ingredients. Had some spicy brown mustard, warmed up some sauerkraut. It was pretty good. I think next I'm gonna do like a sweet jalapeno relish and do like a spicy American dog. Tasty dogs. Did anyone ever have the Chris Angel magician set? I got it for like a birthday gift one time. It was actually pretty whack. It was like 3 plastic cups and like foam balls, and I think it had a deck of cards. It had a couple things. It was like $20, and it really wasn't that cool. Mainly because I wasn't interested really in magic or anything like that. Not at the time. I remember one time I got a $1 bill from one of my parents, and they had a cigarette, and I saw online where someone put like a lit cigarette through a $1 bill and like crumpled up the $1 bill, and the cigarette disappeared. And I tried to do that, and I ended up just burning the $5 bill. It was pretty entertaining. I didn't get into trouble because it was like entertaining that I actually did that and expected like a magic trick to happen. I expected real magic to happen. Whatever.
I don't understand. How is that not real? What do you mean it looks pretty real?
It's the same as...
That's a pretty good trick.